The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Carsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Huth.
Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? So, different voice this week, obviously, because Kyle is currently on his work trip. So I'm the one that's taking the reins and everything. So welcome to a brand new edition of the Rundown on Fun. And so just a quick shout out real quick. We're recording this on Wednesday. And currently right now, the hurricane down in Florida is wreaking havoc. So we just want to give our prayers and good vibes and everything to our friends down there. We've got a bunch of friends down there. And if you guys are down there, stay safe. And so hopefully we'll hear some good news here soon that the hurricane will kind of, relax a little bit. So anyway, so that out of the way, Evan, my co-host, is here with me at least. So it's not just
I am here too.
So
yeah,
let's jump right in because you know what? We don't have Zoom Pro. And so we've got 40 minutes. So we're going to cram everything all into 40 minutes and figure that out for the next episode. So
yeah. So we got to do something cool last weekend.
Yeah. So what's cool is we actually got invited. We teased it a little bit last weekend, but we teased it and we got an invite from Tony to go check out Creator Day / Media Day, I guess you could say, for HalloWeekends. And we got to take in a bunch of the sites. We got to see Erie Estate, the haunting of Erie Estates with the lights on, and we posted pictures on our Facebook and stuff and everything. So Evan, why don't you talk about what we got to do?
Yeah, so as Carson said, we got to do a quick tour of Erie Estate, which I feel like we've gotten to do a few times, but it's cool to do it now that it's been slightly altered a little bit. Altered a little bit. I feel like pressure because of our Zoom time.
It's awesome.
So yeah, it was cool to go through that. And we got not going to say a meal, but we got to try, 7 or 8 different food items that they have special for HalloWeekends this year.
Yeah, the food.
So we'll definitely go through those because they were
like
fantastic
and stuff and everything, which is really cool.
Yep. And then they gave us a Frightfully pass and sent us on our merry way.
Yeah.
And we got to be up close and personal with the Mr. Midnight.
Right. I think that's really cool. Like, it was cool to see the behind the scenes of how and with everyone that was talking about, what was going on. Like, we got to see Michael. I can't remember.
Who's Michael?
I cannot remember his last name. Michael.
What does he do?
He is I should have my show notes. Give me a second here. Evan, you can feel free to talk.
Well, yeah. So we got to hear from him, which basically the quick version is he's basically running the show for Haunt and HalloWeekends and everything. And he gave us some really cool insight.
Michael Roddy is
what's his official title?
He's the VP of Entertainment. Okay. I do apologize. My computer didn't want to load. So there's that. Also, we got to listen to
we're lost without Kyle.
Chef RJ. He's the executive chef at Cedar Point. And then Scott, and I don't need to include his last name unless you guys really need to, but I don't think I need to. But Scott Smathers and area manager of food and beverage.
Yeah. So we got to hear from all 3 of them. They gave us some cool insight about what's going into HalloWeekends this year, all the stories that they're trying to tell. And then Chef RJ got to talk a little bit about his food, which, I mean, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that we are head over heels about the food this year. And then what was his name? Scott.
Yeah.
He talked to us a little bit about some of the specialty drinks they're offering, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic throughout HalloWeekends this year. One thing that really stood out to us and that we got to try was the new blood bag, the Pixie Potion, which is not alcoholic. They realized last year that kids probably would think it's super cool to drink out of blood bags. And so they're offering some non-alcoholic versions.
Yeah, they were able to get more blood bags, they said.
Yeah.
So they should hopefully last the whole
season, and they have some for the whole family now, and they're super sugary and make your teeth hurt when you drink them, but they taste good.
They do taste really good. I like what they came up with. Like that's actually pretty cool. And like they have obviously your traditional blood bag where you've got like your alcoholic drink and things like that.
Some mix of vodka and God knows.
Also, we got to see that cool like that midnight.
Yes. So we didn't get to drink it, but it was the Mr. Midnight specialty drink, which I don't know, some sort of, I think it was black vodka.
Yeah, I think
in there.
I
don't know. The drink itself is like a reddish bloody color, but they top it off with a cloud of like, it looks like the fog that they use out on the Midway. And if you look at our Facebook, you could see a video of either me or some random person in the crowd poke the bubble.
Yeah.
And it releases this fog, and it's
cool because
walking down the Midways. It's really cool.
It's cool because like when you pop it, it like goes down like through the drink, and then it goes around the table.
Yeah, if you're sitting on a table, it really like set the vibe. So that was cool.
I'm just saying if I'm taking a date, or if I'm trying to impress a girl, or if you're trying to impress a guy, whatever, like that's a cool little like, hey,
check this out.
Why don't we get a drink? And I got a little special thing, like a special trick, and you're like, okay, well, whoa, what's that? The bubble on the top, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, it gets better. Pop it, babe. Boom, and then it's like smoke everywhere, and you're just like,
yeah,
whoa. So
did they say where the blood bags are available everywhere? Is the Mr. Midnight drink available everywhere?
I don't think
I know it's at least available across from Cornstalkers at Midnight Elixirs.
That might be just there, or maybe we didn't really say, or it could also be maybe, I don't know, but maybe it could be the drink stand right across from Millennium Force.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Walk around the park, you'll find it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So but
so there's that, and then I have my write-up of all the food ready to go. So first off, the one that neither of us tried because we both tried it in the park throughout the year is the Farmhouse Chili. They have that in a bread bowl, but the chili was there for us to try if you hadn't tried it before.
I think the bread bowl,
really good.
Really quick, I think the bread bowl added to that chili is just an extra like chef kiss on the top.
Yeah, I mean bread bowls are good.
Yeah.
So I'll just start with so they had, like I said, aside from the chili, they had couple other entree-esque items for us to try, then a bunch of desserts. So start with the entrees.
Yeah.
So the first one was the loaded burnt ends potato wedges. So these were potato wedges with burnt ends and cheese sauce, sour cream, pickled red onions, and jalapenos. I thought this was really good. I don't know. I thought
it was extremely good. Yes, I think the burnt ends I mean, you can't go wrong with a potato
yeah.
I mean, so I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah, I don't particularly like burnt ends because they tend to be like chewing on rocks. But for some reason, these just weren't. They were super. I think it's
because all the toppings and everything that they had going on, and like
it was really
mixture. Good. Yeah, I agree.
The overall theme here is everything's great.
Right.
So if you want to try this, it's over at Back BQ.
Yep.
Next up was, I think, the winner as far as everything goes, for me at least. At Corral, we have the Nashville hot chicken tenders.
Oh man,
these were so good.
They were a little on the spicy side, which actually I kind of like. Like I wasn't expecting that much of a spice.
They weren't excessively hot, or to the point where it hurt.
Right, to where you're like, oh my gosh, where's a drink? But
it had some heat, and the chicken was super good.
Yep.
Really, really happy with these. And they were served with pickles.
That was a home run. That was a home run. I mean, I love pickles, so I mean, anything with pickles is great with me.
Yeah, so that was good. And then let's get to the desserts, which were something else. So my least favorite was the shards of glass cupcakes, not because they tasted bad or anything. They were just pretty standard cupcakes. But I will say A+ for presentation. Like they look super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big crazy cupcake kind of fan, or anything, but I mean, they tasted good. They were moist, and
they were cupcakes.
They were cupcakes with, I ate the sugar the sugar glass, you want to say, on the top, and
yeah, I don't even know how to. They have
it just tasted like sugar, and obviously
yeah,
the sugar.
and they stuck this big sugar thing in the middle of the frosting and put red food coloring all around it to make it look like it was bleeding. Super cool.
Yeah.
If you want to get it for yourself, it's at Engine House Custard over there by Farmhouse. S'mores chocolate fudge, available at French Quarter Confections.
I do have to say this one was good, but having
so sweet.
If you have too much of it, yeah.
AKA more than one bite.
Yeah. I'm not, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not a fudge kind of corner store.
I love fudge, but this was just I wrote in my little paragraph here, probably the only thing I've ever eaten that I thought tasted so good but was done after one bite. Because you can't eat more than one bite.
I could see that.
So if you decide to get some, get a block for your whole family.
And share. Yeah. Sharing that for sure.
Yeah. Up next, the Cedar Point take on Taco Bell cinnamon twists, cinnamon sugar nachos from Miss Keats.
Oh,
yeah, they taste really good. I was gonna say it tastes like Taco Bell.
So
but instead of
the chicken tenders were like a home run. This was like a 2-run home run for me.
You really like these that much?
Yeah, like I don't know, like I love nachos, and then they were really crisp, and then I obviously like all the chocolate and whatever they got going on there.
I think it was chocolate, caramel, and marshmallow,
and like just all of that together, it tasted like a wet version of a cinnamon twist from Taco Bell. Like it was so good. I had to go back and get more. Like just like
they were super good.
More. They were really good. Yeah.
Literally just think you're eating the Taco Bell cinnamon twist, but you're eating on a tortilla chip. That's the only way I can explain it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the piece de resistance for me for dessert was from Coaster's Diner, the pumpkin roll.
Oh, so that was a 2-run home run. That's a grand slam. Let me tell you, that pumpkin roll was like eating a filet mignon of a pumpkin roll. Like I don't even know and don't even understand.
I don't know what they did. I don't know why it was so good, but it was incredible.
It is so good. Like I cannot even. Oh my gosh, it was very magic.
So good.
It was very magic. Every single bite was just like, oh yeah.
It was bliss.
Get another one, and I get another one, and I get another one, and I get another one, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want another piece. Like I will literally buying at least 4 or 5 of those at the park. Like
those will be that'll run you $55.
Well, that's
fine. Yeah. So for everybody's information, there is no tasting card. These are not on the meal plan. These are all a la carte, and it seems there might be some outliers, but I believe everything is $10.99.
Yeah,
it is definitely worth the $10.99 to try some of these. Nashville hot chicken tenders for sure, and pumpkin roll 5 sure.
Yeah, definitely. And give it a try. If you don't like it or something or whatever,
yeah,
give it a try. And then I don't know, like a lot of me will just say, you know what, it will probably blow your mind. The way that the flavors that interact and just everything. The drizzle that they put on that pumpkin roll, I don't know what it was, but it was some kind of drizzle. But oh my goodness. It was
I'm gonna go get it.
I'm going to Cedar Point tomorrow, and yeah.
Just for pumpkin roll. Screw the rides.
Just for pumpkin roll. You'll find me at Coasters.
Hey, Carsten said he was going to be here today. Anybody seen him?
Half-eaten pumpkin roll all over my shirt, and
Beautiful. So yeah, that's our quick little rundown thing.
The rundown on fun. We just want to say thank you to Cedar Point for the invite.
Yes,
we really
it was a great little event.
It was fun.
Nice to hear. And you could listen to the interview with Michael,
yes,
on our Facebook page. He gave some really cool insight about everything that went into HalloWeekends this year. I'm not going to
talk a lot about Mr. Midnight, like what his story is.
Really cool information. So please go give that a watch. I'm sure the park would love. It'll help the park having people go through the haunted houses and actually know the stories behind them.
Yep.
So go check it out.
It's really cool. And then also we didn't even talk about like Midnight Syndicate and stuff. Like,
oh, it's so good.
That's all tied to Mr. Midnight as well. Like,
yes. And I mentioned that a little last week, but
yeah,
now that you've seen it, you could confirm.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people on our Facebook page didn't agree, but I think that's probably the best. The best
every review I've seen of it is either they agree with us and say it's fantastic,
yeah,
or it's they've had better shows. Either way, Midnight Syndicate always puts on a great show. It's 25 minutes. Go sit in a warm Jack Aldrich theater for 25 minutes.
Or if it's hot out, go sit in the AC.
Yeah. Hey, who knows? It's Ohio.
Right. You never know. You never know.
Supposed to be cool again this weekend. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see.
So then last week we talked a little bit about the haunted houses we've been through. The ones we hadn't been through though were Fairground Freak Show, Slaughterhouse, and Hexed.
Yep.
You still haven't done Hexed.
No. I have not done Freak. I haven't done Freak Show either.
Okay, so I guess I'll talk about those two specifically, and then you could talk about Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
So Freak Show, honestly, nothing different. If you liked Freak Show, you'll still like it this year. If you didn't,
I like it because it's got that carnival essence to it. You know, like
I'll just say your opinion on Freak Show will not change after this year. So I will say that the actors in there, whenever I went through, they were doing a great job. As were all the actors this year.
As that busy Saturday when you went.
Oh, goodness, it was so busy. It was so busy. And then Hexed is largely the same, but they did in the first few rooms, they added like riddles on the wall, or like they're not riddles, they're spells because witches. To kind of explain that room, I guess. I can't remember any of them offhand, but when you go through, you can't miss them. They're like highlighter yellow on the wall.
Yeah.
The one in particular, like there's the room with like mannequins like stuck face first into the wall, which I always thought was super creepy. Now there's a little spell on the wall, like, hocus pocus stuck to the wall. Yeah. It's cute, and spoiler alert, they're trying to get you distracted and reading that so that the actors can come scare you. So humor them, read the thing, get scared out of your mind,
right?
Continue on your way.
Right. That's awesome.
It seemed like it was only in the first half of the house, so I wonder if they're kind of still, the creative team is still trying to figure out riddle spells for the rest of the house. Because I really enjoyed reading those as I went through it, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, where'd they go? So I hope they continue that through the rest of the house.
Okay. That's cool though. That's a cool little little.
And then we could both talk about Slaughterhouse. I think Slaughterhouse is probably having its best year. I really like it this year.
I thought it was really good. Like there was a lot of good scares. There was a lot of good, the scare actors or screamsters.
They're doing a great job.
They're doing a good job. There was a lot of them and things like that. I also noticed that there was it looks like they got rid of the plastic chainsaws, and it looks like there was actually
they're using real ones without
like obviously with no chain on it, but they came back with the real chainsaw, which is a nice change, I think.
So it actually sounds legit instead of
yeah that. And then I mean, it's just like it's real when you can smell like the gas and like the exhaust and things like that. It just kind of adds to that fear element. And then the little add-on thing that they added over there, a little.
Do we want to explain that, or let people go figure it out?
Let's save that for someone to experience. But they did add on just a little bit, and you got to go.
Just when you think it's over, it's not.
We're not gonna spoil that for you. So you got to go through the maze, go check it out, go through the or the house, I should say.
Yeah, and it's worth waiting in line for, just because you get super cool views of Millennium from both the queue and the exit.
Yeah, you can see them, especially when it's dark at night. You can see the
oh my goodness,
awesome cool LED lights that light up Millennium Force's lift hill, looking up from the top and everything.
Yeah,
like, it looks really, really good. And if you've got a really good camera that takes really good night pictures, you probably will drool over the pictures that you're able to take, as long as you're still with them. Because
look for them on our Facebook page from Carsten's iPhone.
Right. But I think it's really cool. I also think, we didn't really touch on this, but Michael, that is now charge of the VP of entertainment at Cedar Point, he's actually from he's got like a Disney background. He's also from Universal. Like, he's been all over, which is
Yeah.
he's also been down at Busch Gardens, Tampa. So he's been hitting
So you could see
all of the main big parks, and I'm really excited to see what he's
you
going
could
to
see Cedar Point's really joining the big leagues as far as Halloween events go.
Yes, I think within the next, I'd say 2 or 3 years, I think HalloWeekends might improve probably for the better. And I'm just putting I'm just putting it out there right now. If
We're not going to go Horror Nights level, but maybe Busch Gardens Tampa level, which I know they know they have to compete with Horror Nights, and so theirs is really good. So maybe we could get that.
But you also have to remember, I mean, they're only competing with Kings Island, like down. So they're really
competing with themselves.
Because there's not really a whole lot of haunts, and things like that around in Ohio, besides like, your single haunted houses and things like that. So
7 Floors of Hell. And
yeah. So a little fun fact, I guess Ohio supposedly is like the number one.
We have the most haunted houses of any state.
Yeah. So I just learned that a few days ago.
I don't know if does Cedar Point count as 5 haunted houses?
I would
count as 11 haunted houses.
I don't know. I'd like to know what
we have like over 100 haunted walkthrough attractions in our state, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. So sorry to our friends in other Cedar Fair regions, but we're the best.
Right. Sorry to Fury 325.
Yeah. And sorry, Kyle. See, we're better than Horror Nights. Quantity over quality up here.
I love it. Good stuff. Well, Evan, do you wanna switch gears and talk a little bit about the elephant, I guess, in the room?
It always will be until anything is officially announced. But
yes.
Yep. We had to talk about it. Dragster. We had heard rumors going into last weekend that track had started to be approved, and we could see, and hold before I even say anything, do not take your phone out on rides. Do not do it.
Don't do it. You will get
phone belongs on the midway and in the queue lines.
You will get kicked out of Cedar Point. I've seen it happen probably 20 different times. It will happen. It is not.
We're going to tell you this every single time we mention anything about Dragster. So, So we are not live.
Right. For sure.
So, anyways, if you ride Power Tower, if you ride Iron Dragon, if you ride Roofer, if you ride Corkscrew, you could see with your eyes and not your lenses that's really driving this home. That as of Saturday night, I don't know, they might have even done more work Saturday and Sunday. That Dragster is missing a solid portion of track.
It starts pretty much from almost where you get off, like for the catwalk unload station, if you had to get evac'd, all the way around and all the way inside the station and all the way to the launch tree, and all the track was gone. So I'm sure even the transfer track was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was there when I took picture, or I'm sorry, when I did an update and saw from Power Tower, I'm like, oh wow, all the track's gone. But like, oh, interesting, the transfer track is actually still there. And then the next day you were there and you're like, oh, and we rode Power Tower again. We're like, oh, transfer track's gone. So
and a bunch of the catwalk right there from the launch and the transfer track was there at Friday night, not there Saturday.
Wow.
Already. Yeah.
Wow. So I don't know if this is like, are we just gonna roll up like almost closing weekend and parts of the towers are gonna be missing? Like I don't know.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
But it's also worth mentioning that the supports are still there as of last weekend. It seemed like they were working on keeping the supports for the track that they were.
Well, that'll be interesting to see. So we talked.
Well, it'll be easier to retrofit new track for existing supports than it is to retrofit current track to new launch system.
Right. I mean, so if you have to get new trains and you're having a new launch, obviously you're going to have brand new track pretty much all the way up to the tower, and then probably where the brakes start and all the way out, because obviously I don't think those actual brakes and everything will be able to line up with brand new trains.
I think that's what you were saying last week.
But yeah, so it makes sense. But if we start seeing like track pieces come off the tower and stuff, or the pieces, I'm like, I'm gonna get
another thing.
And start.
If they are planning on keeping the tower, also keep an eye out for new paint, because I feel like this is something we haven't even talked about yet, but I feel like they're probably going to repaint it something different to
Yeah.
fit whatever the new theme is. If they go that, if they're going that route,
I'm sorry, but I would love something purple.
I just want something that's not red, orange, or yellow.
I would love.
Sorry, Wild Mouse.
I would love no, and I don't want blue. Don't keep blue out too.
No blue, no blue.
Yeah, I would love something purple, or maybe something yellow. I mean, we lost Wicked Twister, so
yeah. Well, we already kind of have yellow on the tower. I don't know, but just keep an eye out for that. Probably won't happen, but
yeah. So I will be at the park tomorrow, and I will update when I ride Power Tower. And not take pictures, obviously, but I will
take pictures from the midway. Take all the pictures you want from the midway.
Yeah, I will take pictures.
Also, don't be that guy that like tries to like jump and get a look over the fence. Just don't.
Right. They have obviously don't want you looking over the fence and looking into the fence because they did kind of seal it up a lot more where you can't see through the cracks and crevices and things like that. So just respect the park. Just don't do it. Just don't.
Okay, we're done being preachy. We're off our soapbox. Just really have to drive that point home because people.
But yeah, so anything else you want to add, Evan?
There's something else we were wanting to talk about.
I don't think so.
I guess I'll just throw in there that Saturday at Cedar Point was one of the busiest days I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I worked there last year, and I probably was in the park on busier days. But as a guest, this is one of the busier days I've ever experienced. It probably wasn't even that bad for a normal HalloWeekend Saturday, but I typically don't go on HalloWeekend Saturdays, so it was just. I mean, we're talking hour wait for Gemini.
Wow.
Like
that's good to see though that the park is busy because a busy park means it's a good thing. I mean, it sucks, but And
I don't want to ruin it for us when we're there, but if you stay till closing, the last like half hour, 45 minutes, maybe not like Millennium or Steel Vengeance, but like don't bother waiting the 45 minutes for Roo during the day because it did have a 45-minute wait during the day.
That's when
wait till 11:30.
That's when you can go get the Mr. Midnight drink and have a few drinks or go try some of that food. By the way, I don't think we said anything, but there's a lot more food options than
what we tried
that we were able to try.
We only tried about half.
Yeah, they brought in a little. They brought like almost half of it, but there's a ton of other different food options to try and take a peek and everything. I'm kind of sad, Evan, just for you. They didn't bring back that awesome corn that you loved. I think it was
that was in 2020.
That was 2020. Yeah,
that was so good.
Oh my gosh, I remember because you used to buy a tasting card and you would
just to eat that.
You would literally use 2 or 3 tasting card options on that
over a couple weeks. Yeah,
because we said we talked about, we were like, hey, we'll split a tasting card. I met up with you later in the day. I'm like, you have that tasting card? You're like, yeah, it's gone. I'm like, what happened? You're like, corn. That was it.
Insert that TikTok sound.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Evan, do you have
anyways, to finish up my quick little tidbit, just wait till 11:30 to ride Rougarou. Don't waste your time waiting in line for it during the day, or Corkscrew or Gemini, probably Magnum, Raptor. None of them had lines past like 10:30. So
sure,
because everybody's doing all the weekend stuff. So don't subject yourself to stupid waits or rides that don't typically have waits. There's my tips and tricks for this week.
Tips and tricks. I like that. Well, it's funny you say this week because next week we are taking a break. Kyle is still going to be away, and Evan and I will have prior obligations, and we will not be recording an episode next week. We'll be taking.
I have midterms next week.
Yeah, so Evan's got to study, make sure he passes his.
So I could be designing Cedar Point's next big.
Right. So that way he doesn't use this podcast as a viable income because we're making money on this. But yeah. So
you always talk about that CP rundown credit card.
I know, right? Yeah. It's
hiding from me.
I don't even know where it's at. Like that's
okay. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so thanks guys for listening to us. We definitely
we'll take next week off. Kyle's gonna come back. He's gonna have some stuff to talk about. We won't spoil anything because we aren't sure he's gonna have stuff to talk about, but he probably will.
And
that pertains to Cedar Fair.
Thanks guys for rolling with the awesome me trying to do host, I guess you could say, and my computer not loading for those awesome Cedar Point names that were kind of important to the podcast.
Insert the game show music.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so thanks again. Listen to us on Spotify and also Apple Podcasts. We're still working on iHeartRadio, as Kyle likes to say. And Evan, you know what Kyle likes to say, so I'll let you close it out.
Hold on. I had to think about it last week, but I think I'm more prepared this week. Be kind to your write-ups, and to see you on Monday.
All right, awesome guys. Thanks again. Have a good week. Thank you. Bye guys.